guys? Brandon from RCGC here, bringing you guys the full info for the Butcher's Western Pack Day 3 and the final release of this kind of cool looking pack. I honestly came into this thinking it would be kind of crappy, but I've actually heard some pretty positive things about the actual full pack. Now I'm going to scroll all the way down so you don't see the little thing that Overkill has set up. You already saw it, crap. I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's get to Day 3, and I already scrolled past Day 3. I am so professional, 10 out of 10, would be professional again, I guess. Alright, let's see. Day 3. Masks and More. Wild West Classic. The wide-brimmed hat, the steely gaze, and the scarf pulled over the mouth, a combination so iconic, so classic, and so effective that it remains the staple for gangsters and heisters everywhere. And here it is, the bandito mask I essentially kind of called. Nice little cowboy hat and bandito mask. Looks nice. And there we go. Now we got the desert skull. When staggering through desolate I don't know how to say any of this. Again, I do not know Western talk. Southern talk. That was stupid. Alright, with only thoughts for company, the last thing you want to see is this parched bones out of those who went before you. Suddenly, thoughts are screams. Suddenly, those thoughts are screams. Again, not read today. Or any day. As you can see, you're kind of like a bull skull. Not really much there to say, just a bull skull. Alright, now the Apache Mystic, which is obviously a throwback kind of to the Native Americans. The West that the white man entered was a land of mystery, a land populated with civilizations of warriors who marked themselves, their land, and their mythologies with these sacred carvings. Oh, let's go back up. Here we are. This actually looks pretty cool. This is the first time I've actually brought this mask up and actually looked at it, like, with color and everything. It actually looks really well done, I gotta say. Other than it kind of looks a little derpy. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Now, the Lone Heister. Whether you're a murderous desperado or a lone brooding ranger, sometimes you need to hide your identity. What does that better than a slender black eye mask covering a third of your face? Which is kind of like a joke at, I guess, how Overkill really are releasing, not really masks. I mean, the past couple updates, we've had literal just like hats being put in the game. But here we go, a little tiny mask. I can't really say anything else about it. It's a little tiny mask. Okay, let's close that. Scroll down. Here we got the materials and the patterns. Let's bring that up. These actually look, I can't really tell. One's obviously a cactus. One's a sunrise or sunset. One looks like HAL 9000. I don't remember if it was 9000 or something else. And the other one just looks like gravel. Here we are, different types of masks. Patterns, and apparently I cannot bring that up. Apparently I can only bring up those. Well, obviously. Anyway, achievements. The Noble Prize. Kill 3 enemies with a single blast of thrown dynamite. Fastest gun in the West. Kill 6 enemies in 6 seconds while hip-firing the Peacemaker. Pin cushion. Get 10 or more arrows stuck into a bulldozer. And recycling. Pick up 100 arrows. Alright. And now, it's released, and say you're broke like me and owe a debt like me, there's actually a thing you can do on this website, which of course I will make sure is linked in the description. The other few times it hasn't, and I will hit John if he doesn't link that in the description. But if this would scroll up, come on, here we go. The shooting gallery, the bank shootout. Essentially, what you can do is you can play this little mini game. Here, I'll show you a little bit of it. Just a little kind of like flash game. Oh god, that's loud. Hold on. Turn off the sound effects. Here you can play a little game, shoot cloakers, tasers, bulldozers, all that, and essentially every time you shoot them you get a little bit of money, and then a little bit of addition to the time here, and whoever at the end of May 4th at 6 p.m. GTM time, you will they will see who's the winner. A couple people will get some of the Western Pack codes, and some people will get Game of the Year codes. But yeah, this is a nice little game if you're kind of like strapped on cash and feel like you can actually do good in. I got $100. Ooh. Anyway, comment rates. I'm full of crap because now it's time for John's part of the video where he shows you all the weapons in action, or something along those matters. What are you still doing here? Well, John, Do the cutaway thing now!
Hey guys, John here from Rusty Chains Games Coverage, recording this for the second time, because I deleted it the first time, because I'm a genius. Anyway, now I'm going to show you guys some gameplay of all the new Western Weapon Pack weapons. All of them are unmodded, although I do have some skills to boost stability, but we're going to take a look anyway. All the footage you're about to see is recorded on the Overkill difficulty, single player, no cheats or hacks or game mods, just weapon skills. So first up is the Repeater 1874 sniper rifle. Here's the stats, very nice. Damage is kind of not so great compared to the other snipers, but it has a much higher faster rate, and it's the only sniper rifle that has reload cancel. You reload it bullet for bullet. So you can very easily do some reload cancel, pop a few, can't sprint off, reload. So it's really handy in that regard, because although it takes a very, very long time to reload all, I believe, 15? Yeah, 15. Although it takes a very, very long time to reload all 15 bullets individually, if you just shoot a few and reload a few at a time, this thing can fire very, very quickly. So that's nice and handy for all kinds of stuff. Let's take a look at the mods. So there's the long range barrel, which adds 2 accuracy or -2 concealment. So here it is one more time, and here it is with the mod. As you can see, the barrel is slightly longer, because long barrel. And here's the Outlaw Silence barrel, sacrificing a lot for 7 stability and it being silenced. And here's what that looks like. I prefer to use sniper rifles for loud, so I'm almost certainly going to go for the long range barrel. Now, here's my main issue with this weapon. It only has the one scope that comes with it, and it can't change reticles. Like, I get it, you know, an authentic 1874 sniper rifle or whatever wouldn't have adjustable reticles or rangefinders or whatever, but, you know, if you can do that with the Nagant from the History Pack, I don't understand why you can't do it with the Western Pack too. And that grinds my gears a bit. You have the default cross reticle in here, which I'll show you guys. Well, I won't show you guys during gameplay. But that has the default cross reticle in there. So you have this one telescopic attachment, I guess. The A5 scope, 3 stability, -3 concealment. The iron sights are reliable, but it's definitely nicer to have the scope. This gun has very decent penetration, and it's accurate at a very long range even without the scope, as I said. So this rifle gets my thumbs up. It's probably one I'm going to be using for the foreseeable future. Let's take a look at how it actually works in game. Alright, next up is the Peacemaker 45 revolver, as you can see here. It's very fancy 6-shot piece of equipment that, you know, stereotypical cowboy western stuff that you see. Here's the stats, here's base, here's what I'll be playing with. As I said, I'll be doing it on overkill. From what I've seen so far, having tinkered with it before, it seems to have a reload bug. Because you're reloading bullet by bullet like before. It's not like the Bronco revolver where you exchange every bullet at once. With this, you do it individually. And sometimes after the first or second bullet is inputted, your character just stops and closes the gun and returns to the shooting position without your canceling. So reload may be bugged. I have not found out what triggers them to stop reloading aside from my own input. So as it stands, reload may randomly be cancelled. Let's take a look at some mods. So there's the Grand Grip. Here's what that grip looks like on the actual piece. It includes +2 stability and at the cost of 1 concealment point. Not too bad. Here is the Precision Barrel. You can add 2 accuracy at the cost of 2 concealment. And here's what that looks like. Quite a long little gun there. The Shootout Barrel, it's the opposite. So this is more for stealth. You shorten the barrel to up its concealment, but you sacrifice its accuracy. Here's what this one looks like. See short. And of course there's a stock, Old Ben's stock. To be honest, it really looks not so much like a stock even. Like, this is the bare minimalist stock you can get for any gun, really, just looking at it. And that adds 4 stability at the cost of 2 concealment. So, let's take a look at that, shall we?
Come with. I got. Yo, we're on me. Got it. We're on me. Yo, we're on me. Hey, we're on me. Clock's ticking, people. Okay. Yo, we're follow me. I got it. We're come with. Got it. Hey, we're come with. Okay. We're on me. Got it. They're deploying SWAT units. Get ready to face some heavy firepower. say?
Next up is the Plains Rider Bow and Arrow. It's the introduction of archery into the Payday series. It's definitely the most unique weapon. Here are its direct stats. Aside from the stability increase, I won't be using any other enhancements. For the first time I show gameplay, I'm going to show you gameplay with the Plains Rider as it stands, and with the explosive arrows as well. And here's what that looks like. Notice the dynamite on that arrow there. So, first of all, let me talk about the controls. I have a lot to say about this gun. I'm sorry. Gun, my god. I have a lot to say about this weapon. I'm sorry I'm stuttering a bit, but the controls for this weapon are not how you might think. They go against everything else in Payday 2, where it's, left click to shoot, right click to zoom. With this, you hold left click to pull back the string with the arrow, and that zooms in as well, and right click, and then you release left click to shoot, and right click kind of lowers the string back into position without firing, so it cancels the draw. Now, ammo pickup is interesting for this weapon. You cannot get from ammo bags, you cannot get from drop police. You have to find and retrieve your own arrows. So, that's interesting. Whether or not you can retrieve other players' arrows, I have not tested yet. I assume you could. You cannot retrieve explosive arrows, though. So choose those carefully, because the arrows are exploded. So, all that being said, let's take a look at some gameplay. Last and certainly not least, in terms of weapons I'll be providing footage for, dynamite. This does not function the same as other high explosive grenades. Once you throw it and it hits the ground, it has a approximately 2 to 3 second timer before it detonates. Once it detonates, it has a much larger radius. It could be anywhere from 6 kills. And it is instant kill as well. It's not like high explosives where it's a stun. This is kills. This thing does a lot more damage, packs a lot more punch in a much bigger area, but you have to be more precise with your timing and aiming with it if you want to use it to its full capabilities. It's melee time! So here we have the You're Mine. It's a $ branding iron. Classy. Here's the stats. 30 damage and 61 when charged for a 2-second charge time, 225 range, 20 concealment, and knockdown is 96 and then 98 when charged. You're definitely charging for damage as opposed to knockback. Knockback is virtually the same, but you're spending those 2 seconds charging for a massive damage buff. Next up is the Scalper Tomahawk. This one is certainly more of a stealth weapon. It has a lower range, but higher concealment than the Your Mine for the same charge time. It does less damage. Well, actually it has slightly higher damage, but significantly less knockdown. This one is definitely more quick hits. So you're going, and that high concealment makes it a choice for stealth, in my opinion. And here's what this looks like. To be honest, I'm not a terrible fan of the weapon model. The blade's a bit small for my liking. I would have liked something a bit larger, like, let me find it. Survival Tomahawk. I would have liked something a bit larger like that on the end. I know this is like US military, but still, that blade seems small to me. Not too satisfying. Next is the Arkansas Toothpick. 30. Same damage as the Your Mine, but actually manages to get higher... manages to get higher knockdown by default than when you charge it, which is kind of interesting. It also has a larger range than the Tomahawk, which I don't understand. And it is 27 concealment, so this is also a stealth weapon. It's made for range and being concealed very easily. Big knockdown, big damage. Next we've got the Gold Fever Toothpick. This is by far the heaviest hitter, if you fully charge it, of the pack. And as you can tell, both stats that affect enemies get massive, massive buffs when you charge it. But that 3-second charge time means you have to be pretty careful with how you use that. Direct from Bane's Tooling. So, thank you guys for watching. I'm John from the Rusty Chains, and this has been Rusty Chains Games Coverage. We will see you guys next time. Until then, feel free to like, leave a comment, subscribe, check us out on our Twitch channel, The Rusty Chains, where we stream frequently. Until then, stay rusty.